speak to journalist Nadina Ronc, who is here with me in the studio. And Nadina, I know that you left Bosnia, as so many people did, as a war refugee. What do you make of this verdict? Is this going to be seen as justice for people like yourself?
Well, I think, first of all, none of us actually ever hoped that he would be arrested to begin with. And now, the conclusion of the trial, it is fair that he was found guilty of genocide in Srebrenica on 10 counts. But what I'm not happy with is that he was not found guilty on one of the counts for the crimes that he committed outside of Srebrenica in the 6 municipalities. Because you see, wherever his soldiers and he came, they committed the worst genocide, rapes, tortures and killings. So international community cannot claim that when you target one specific group of people, in this case Bosnian Muslims, that was not genocide. It was genocide, and he should have been found guilty of that as well.
Yeah, other family members have made the same point, that Srebrenica wasn't the only genocide. There were many, many atrocities, and there is a criticism that a lot of these atrocities, the perpetrators won't be held to account. In fact, some of them still see their former attackers walking around in the streets.
True. I will tell you this. My aunt and uncle were in concentration camp in Luka in Brčko. My aunt was raped. The man who raped her has left his jail after 2/3 of the sentence was served. He now lives happily with his family in Serbia. My aunt, from all the torture that she had experienced, ended up with 2 strokes, and she died in August in Germany. She was ill for many years, and for many years she couldn't talk about it because she was afraid that somebody would come and get her. My uncle died as a result of the tortures. So that was also genocide. And what about finding those responsible for that? Not just one person that raped her, there was a number of different people that were there. So, you know, I cannot find closure in this, to be quite honest with you.
What do you say to those people who say, look, that, you know, there are prosecutions still going on, there are trials still going on, but at some point we're going to have to put this behind us if the country is ever to move forward towards full reconciliation?
I don't think we should put it behind us. Firstly, because as you see in Germany, they are still charging those that were responsible for Holocaust. And that should be the case in Bosnia as well. Now that the ICTY is closing on 31st of December, and Bosnian courts will take over, especially the MICT, this mechanism for crimes or whatever it is called these days. You know, there has to be a bit more support to try these war criminals in Bosnian courts, in Serbians, in Croat courts. But the problem is that Serbian and Croatian government, they refuse to hand over their war criminals to be, you know, charged and to have a process of law delivered on them. And for that reason, how do you then move forward? How do you trust your neighbor?
Have you been back there recently? I mean, what is the mood regarding reconciliation? Do you see that the country is moving forward, or are there still divisions which perhaps there needs to be more international mechanisms to try and take the country to the next step?
I often go to Sarajevo. I have family there. So when you speak to individual people who work within human rights organizations, they all know that there is never going to be reconciliation. There are people that just want to live. They just want to move forward, to provide for their families and for their children. But when you have a constant denial of that genocide, when you have somebody like Milorad Dodik, who is president of the Genocide Republic, Republika Srpska, constantly denying that genocide happened and constantly saying that, oh, those numbers, they are, you know, exaggerated as such, you cannot really think that a reconciliation is possible when Serbs come up with those sort of statements.
As far as the justice system goes, do you think enough people are seeing accountability, or in your opinion, is enough being done to bring the perpetrators to justice?
Well, to be honest with you, as I said, nobody ever thought that even Karadzic or Mladic would end up in The Hague because the Serbian government was paying their pensions, so they knew where they were. The only reason that they were handed over is because the European Union made pressure over the membership to the EU on Serbia. But I think that it will take a very long time to sort of say that enough is being done because of the time that was spent to bring these men to justice. They were enjoying their lives while, for instance, mothers of Srebrenica were looking for their missing. I spoke to Munira Subasic. She's the president of the Mothers of Srebrenica on Monday, and she has only found 2 bones from her son, which are buried, and she at least says she has a grave to go to, while many other mothers don't. So when you hear that, you cannot really think that there is any kind of future that can really... I mean, don't get me wrong, I think there needs to be a movement towards some kind of reconciliation. We do need to learn to live together again, but it will never be the same. And trust is gone, and we can never forget what happened, especially not the genocide in Srebrenica.
There's clearly still a lot of scars to heal. Nadina, thank you very much indeed for joining us. Nadina Ronc there.
Thank you.